The morning of the family photo shoot, I had my daughter dressed in a soft lavender romper, her curls freshly brushed, her tiny hands grasping a teddy bear. She was only 10 months old, but had the brightest smile you could imagine. Her dimples always showed before she even made a sound. It was supposed to be our first full family picture in years. We were all meeting at my parents' estate, where my sister Lacey, the golden child, had just returned from Paris with her fiancé. The theme was coordinated pastels. Everything had to be perfect, or, as my mom phrased it, magazine-worthy. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. When I arrived, holding my baby in one arm and a diaper bag in the other, Mom glanced over and raised an eyebrow. "You brought the baby?" she asked in a tone like I'd brought a stray animal. I laughed, thinking she was joking. "Of course, she's family." She didn't smile. That was the first warning sign. My father was fussing with the photographer, making sure Lacey was placed center frame, her white silk dress glowing in the morning sun, her fiancé standing tall behind her. When I asked where we should stand, my mom looked me up and down and said, "Can someone please take the baby back to the car? We don't want distractions. The aesthetic matters." I thought I misheard her. I blinked. "What?" "You heard me," she said softly, with that condescending smile I knew too well. "She's too small. It'll throw off the symmetry. You understand, right?" I didn't, but I nodded, stunned. My baby started to cry, probably sensing the tension. My mom's face hardened. "See? This is exactly why. Lacey's in heels, the lighting is perfect, we're not restarting for a tantrum." I turned to my dad for support. He muttered, "We just want one good photo. You can take one with your baby after." Lacey chimed in from her perfect pose. "Oh, come on, don't make this about you. It's not like she's going to remember." I backed away. I held my daughter close, blinking back tears, trying not to make a scene as they all smiled for the camera. My parents, my sister, my brother, his wife, everyone but us. Afterward, they sent me a copy of the photo. A perfect, glossy, pastel-colored family, with a blank spot where I should have stood. Where we should have stood. I stared at it for hours, my hands shaking. The caption my mom posted online read, "The perfect family, finally complete." And that's when something inside me snapped. They didn't just erase my daughter, they erased me. I didn't scream. I didn't call to argue. I didn't ask why. Instead, I began to plan something unforgettable. For 2 weeks, I didn't respond to a single message, call, or knock. It wasn't out of anger. It was self-preservation. After years of tolerating subtle insults, gaslighting, and being made to feel like a second-tier daughter, this was the final straw. They didn't just crop me out of a photo. They cropped out my daughter, my entire world, and had the audacity to claim it was for the aesthetic. My baby's curls didn't match the beige and blush color scheme. Her laughter was too loud for their timeline. Her presence, my presence, apparently ruined the family illusion they were so desperate to present to the world. And suddenly, I saw it all clearly. This wasn't just about a photo. It was about control, erasure, a carefully curated hierarchy where I was always at the bottom. But not anymore. I opened my laptop and started researching advertising agencies. Not social media, not a passive post. I wanted something they couldn't scroll past. I wanted permanence. I wanted scale. And I found it, an empty billboard just across the street from their neighborhood, towering above the main road where my father walked the dog every morning and my mother gossiped with neighbors about who had the best lawn. I called the agency. They gave me the rate. I paid it without hesitation. "You sure you want this space? It's kind of in your face," the rep said. "Exactly," I replied. "Make it bold. Unmissable." I spent the next 2 days planning. I called Lily, my best friend and a professional photographer, and asked her to help me with a shoot. "You okay?" she asked gently. I nodded. "I'm more than okay. I'm ready." We didn't shoot in a studio. We used the messy couch where my baby first sat up, the patch of grass outside our tiny building where she'd taken her first step. The worn blanket my mother once said was tacky became the backdrop of my favorite photo. Me cradling my daughter under the sunlight, both of us smiling like we had everything we needed. Because we did. I added 5 words beneath the image. This is my real family. I submitted the design. 3 days later, the billboard went live. I drove past it before sunrise. It stood like a lighthouse, glowing, defiant, undeniable. And then I waited. At exactly 7:12 a.m., I parked 2 blocks away and watched from behind tinted glass. Right on cue, my mother stepped out to water her roses in her pink robe. She looked up. Her face went pale. Her mouth parted, but no sound came. My father followed with his coffee. His mug slipped from his hand and shattered on the concrete as he stared at the 20-foot-tall image of the daughter they'd tried to silence and the granddaughter they'd tried to erase. They didn't move for a full minute. Then my phone buzzed. Dad, this is disgusting. You've embarrassed us. Mom, what will the neighbors think? Lacey, seriously? You think anyone cares about your baby? I didn't respond. Instead, I turned my phone off and went to brunch with my daughter. We shared pancakes. I let her smear syrup all over her cheeks. She giggled the whole time. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. The billboard photo started trending. Someone had snapped a picture and posted it online. When your family erases you, make your own spotlight. Within hours, it went viral. Mothers commented, "This healed something in me." Estranged daughters wrote, "You're my hero." And strangers said, "Whoever she is, she just gave the rest of us permission to take our power back." By that evening, I had 3 interview requests in my inbox. I chose the local station first. That night, while my parents sulked behind their blackout curtains, too ashamed to step outside, the news anchor smiled and said, "A single mother's quiet protest is making a loud impact, reminding all of us that being cropped out doesn't mean being erased." And just like that, I wasn't the quiet one anymore. The interview aired at 8 p.m. sharp. I didn't expect much, maybe a few comments, a kind message or two, but what I got was a storm I didn't see coming. By 9:30 p.m., my inbox was exploding. Women from every walk of life, mothers, daughters, sisters, were reaching out with their own stories. They made me sit outside during the family dinner, one wrote. Another said, "They told me my dark skin ruined the Christmas photo." The pain wasn't mine alone. I wasn't the exception. I was the echo of generations of women who had been told they were too loud, too plain, too fat, too different, too real for the polished family picture frame. The next morning, a floral truck showed up outside my apartment. I thought it was a mistake, but the driver confirmed my name. Dozens of bouquets spilled out, letters tucked inside with messages like, "You made me feel seen," and "Thank you for showing your daughter what love really looks like." And then came the call I never expected. My grandmother. She had been quiet through all of this, never picking sides, always in the background. She wasn't tech-savvy, but someone had shown her the clip. She called me, voice shaking. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. "I saw the billboard. I cried. Not because of what they did, but because of what you became." I broke down. In that moment, I didn't need apologies from my parents or pity from strangers. That single sentence filled a hole I didn't know was still open, but poetic justice hadn't finished its arc. The billboard stayed up for 30 days, but by week 2, things began to unravel for my parents. Their neighbors stopped waving. Their church friends, the same ones they had bragged to about their perfect family, started distancing themselves. One woman commented under my mother's Facebook post, "You should have included all your blessings, not just the ones that fit your decor." Their carefully curated image crumbled faster than a sand castle in a storm. Lacey tried to spin the story, claimed I was bitter and jealous and mentally unstable. But people had seen too much. They saw the billboard, they read the article, and more importantly, they felt it. I didn't say a word. Silence, it turns out, is more powerful than screaming. Until one Sunday afternoon, I received a knock on my door. There they stood, my parents. My mom's eyes were swollen. My dad looked like he hadn't slept in days. "We were wrong," my mom whispered, "about everything." My dad stepped forward. "Please, we want to meet her. We want to make this right." I let them speak. I listened. Then I asked one question. "Would you still be here if the world hadn't watched?" They said nothing. And that was all the answer I needed. I closed the door gently, not in anger, but in peace. Not every story ends with reconciliation. Some end with truth, with boundaries, with a woman standing tall beside her daughter, finally free from needing approval. The Billboard came down a week later, but in its place, I launched something new, a foundation called the Full Frame Project, dedicated to helping young mothers, estranged daughters, and women pushed out of their picture-perfect families find community, healing, and purpose. And the very first donation? It came anonymously, but I recognized the handwriting on the card. "For the granddaughter I never got to know. I hope it's not too late." Grandma, she visited us the next weekend. And when we took a new family photo, just me, my daughter, and her, we didn't crop anyone out. Because healing doesn't always come in a perfect frame. Sometimes it comes in the space you finally give yourself to be seen. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.